Are you growing tired of lost tickets and time-consuming ticket sorting? If you've been considering electronic ticketing, now is the time to make the switch to FleetWatcher's e-ticketing solution. Being the largest provider of e-ticketing solutions, FleetWatcher has helped over 250 contractors across the nation reduce worksite hazards and eliminate overflowing filing cabinets. The app is available on desktop and mobile devices, so you can see your reports from the office or the field. To learn more about how e-ticketing can benefit your operations, visit fleetwatcher.com today.
Let's pave it black.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pave It Black, the official podcast of the National Asphalt Paving Association. My name is Richard Willis.
And I'm Brett Williams.
And today we're continuing on the discussion related to climate and how, as an industry, we can start doing little things to make big differences in not just the economics of our mixtures and our operations, but in the emissions that we produce as well. And specifically today, we want to talk about trucking materials management.
So one of the questions I have is, how do we use technology to make us more efficient and reduce our environmental impacts, especially when it comes to trucking within our operations?
So to help us understand a little bit more about this topic today, we've invited in Brad Regner from Northeast Paving. Welcome to the podcast, Brad.
Hi, thanks, guys. Appreciate you inviting me to join.
So to start off, can you just tell us a little bit about you and the company that you work for?
Sure. Again, my name's Brad Regner. I'm Vice President of Eurovia Atlantic Coast, which is our overall company in the United States. The name we go by for our team in the Northeast is Northeast Paving. But fundamentally, we're a part of a much larger company called Eurovia, or Vinci, which is a French company. And we do business all over the world, and sustainability has become a big part of our core business. And we're looking to see how we can continue to improve upon that in the future.
So Brad, with your experience, I was wondering if you could maybe share your perspective on the importance of trucking and materials management for asphalt operations, both in production and construction.
Yeah, transportation or trucking is a huge part of our business, and it's something we can't do our business without, whether it's getting raw materials to our production facilities to make asphalt, or whether it's taking that asphalt to the job sites to lay it down for our customers. It is a very integral part of the business, and looking at it from a lot of perspectives, there's a big opportunity there to help us be more sustainable in the marketplace.
With your experience, I was wondering if you could share a perspective on the importance of trucking and materials management for asphalt operations, so both within the production side of the operations and the construction side.
So trucking is an integral part of our business, whether it's bringing raw materials into our asphalt plants or whether it's hauling asphalt out to the jobs. It's something we very much rely on to do our day-to-day business. Trucking has become more and more a scarce resource, as we all need it in this business. So we are constantly looking for ways that we can improve our efficiencies, provide cost savings ultimately to our customers, and then even look towards sustainability as a fundamental part of our business going forward. And we've done a lot of different things over the years with trucking, but one thing that we've done probably over the last 2 to 3 years is we've partnered with FleetWatcher or Earthwave Technologies to really put some analytics together and help us try to understand how we can capture those efficiencies better, both from a cost perspective and ultimately which leads into a sustainability perspective as well.
Contractors have long lived in a world that's really been focused on dollars. And that's how they made business decisions in many ways. But being a publicly traded company, are you starting to see a shift in the focus to making sure that while you're making money for your investors, you're also making wiser environmental decisions or improving your efficiencies in that manner as well?
Absolutely. I think that the environmental aspects and sustainability are becoming more and more valuable to our shareholders. And they're putting more and more onus on the value of that as part of the value of the companies going forward. Talking more specifically about trucking and kind of going back to the analytics, a lot of what we started to do was more focused on cost savings. We as a company set some goals for ourselves because ultimately Eurovia wants to be an industry leader when it comes to sustainability. We've set some lofty goals, if you will, for our carbon reduction over the upcoming years. And we've set a goal for our company to reduce our carbon emissions by 40% by 2030 and to become carbon neutral by 2050. So to do that, we've had to look at all aspects of our business, and partnering with FleetWatcher and looking at those cost savings really led into looking at the sustainability aspect of how can we reduce our carbon emissions from a trucking perspective. And we recognized right away that to achieve our company's goals, it's going to take cuts everywhere. And we're going to have to look at every part of our business. But again, to go back to more specifically the trucking, looking at the fuel we consume is the largest place where we're creating carbon, if you will. And there's a lot of ways we could simply cut it, and utilizing an analytics software like FleetWatcher, partnering with them, looking at idle times, looking at number of trucks that we use to do things, or the efficiency of how we place them or when we start them. All of those things have come into play to help us be more sustainable, as well as kind of going back to our initial reason for doing it, which was cost savings. So they really go hand in hand.
I'm curious about some of the changes you've seen in fleet and materials management over your career, and maybe if you could share some of the drivers that have brought those changes into Eurovia's business.
Yeah, I've been in the construction industry for going on 23 years now. And I think back to when I started and everything was with CBs, all of the communications with CBs or handheld radios or making telephone calls, or back in the day before cell phones, it was with pagers and all kinds of things. And what I really have seen, especially in the last 5 to 7 years, has been the data analytics have come a long way. And I, again, believe a company like FleetWatcher and our partnership with them has really grown into what I'm kind of call almost real-time data in comparison to where it was when I first started in this industry. So now, rather than handwritten tickets and trying to figure out at the end of the shift where we were with stuff, everything is almost real time now. And it has really changed how we manage our business, because we have all of that data, we have all of that information right in front of us right now. And it's something we can easily share with all of our managers, with all of our supervisors across the group, whether it be with apps on their phones or on their tablets or computer programs. So it allows us to make those real-time decisions and make those changes and make those adjustments in what we need to do in our business. And it's something that has come a very long way in a very short period of time.
Keep listening. There's more to come right after this break. Experiencing bottlenecks at the paver? Identify them and create actionable solutions with the telematics software that is designed specifically for paving contractors. FleetWatcher's material management solution gives you a line of sight into what's happening out in the field. Whether you run company-owned trucks or third-party providers, with their load cycle analysis, you'll be able to determine where the problems are occurring and be able to correct them in real time. What makes FleetWatcher different, you might ask? 100% of their customers are contractors, and they have designed their products to fit your specific paving needs. Do you have long delays in getting information entered into your accounting system, making reports 2 to 4 weeks old by the time you get them? FleetWatcher's virtual shift tickets have enabled many of the company's users to get away from paper tickets completely and store information digitally. Get accurate, real-time information that is accessible on your desktop or mobile devices. To learn more, visit fleetwatcher.com.
What are some of the KPIs that you're seeing utilized in these technologies and tools? And are you seeing them change because of the advancement in technology? And could one day there be like a dashboard that looks at your trucking as quantifying emissions that are coming out of it as well, because of how this is now managing fleet and materials?
Absolutely. We're already have started doing that. When we talk specifically about emissions, well, we may not look at direct CO2 emissions today with a dashboard. We do have dashboards that we monitor idle time of trucks. And we've set goals for ourselves of anytime we're above 25% of the total truck time is idling, we want to go look at it. And we can do that very easily with the analytics on a dashboard actually right now and go and say, well, why is that the case? What can we do to minimize that? Because right now, that 25% idle time is our baseline, and we're looking to continue to lower that as time goes on. And we could turn that into a lot of things going forward. And I think that's one of the great things about a partnership with a company like Earthwave Technologies or Fleet Watcher is we can have open discussions with them and talk about what we're looking for and have them develop that. As we move forward, we're going to see more and more push to have those analytics centered upon different environmental aspects. Right now, like I mentioned, idling time, that's a direct correlation with carbon emissions. But at the same time, we can make that correlation and put a dashboard together and use that as a metric to judge our progress in the future.
So I'm curious if Northeast Paving and Eurovia have a way to quantify the benefits of these technologies and tools that they're using for project management or materials management. And if so, how are they quantifying the return on investment on some of these technologies or tools that are being used?
What we've done is we've baselined a lot of our operations prior to implementing a technology like Fleet Watcher or Earthwave. And we looked at what's the investment, and then fundamentally, what do we have to do in efficiency savings to generate a return? And those efficiency savings could be money, or it could be a reduction in carbon or something along the lines of different KPIs we set for sustainability. But then we'll look and say, after that baseline year, and as we implement that technology, I'll go back to idle time is a key one. How can we see if we can set those metrics and then look and see how we're performing on that baseline to see if we're achieving the metrics we set for ourselves to justify that investment. And honestly, it's a little bit of initial investment in some of these technologies. It's an ongoing investment as well through them providing the storage for the data and the analytics and providing those analytics for us, as well as housing all of that information. So it's an ongoing investment as well. But really, when you look at it from a return on investment perspective, they're very easy to justify when you start talking about all the different places they touch in your business where you can improve on efficiencies. And again, whether that be cost savings, whether that be from a sustainability perspective.
One of the aspects of many of these systems is the e-ticketing aspect to help with materials management. And I think back to pre-COVID, and a lot of companies were kind of flirting with the idea of e-ticketing. A lot of states were kind of thinking about it. But when COVID hit, e-ticketing took off and became a must for a lot of companies to invest in and try to get their arms around. There are some things that we're going to be happy to see leave with as we come to figure out how to deal with it. But there are some things that are kind of here to stay. Did COVID have any impact on the adoption of some of these technologies, or how the project management, materials management tools help deal with the uncertainty and the unknowns during that experience?
COVID definitely accelerated the use of some of this technology like e-ticketing. We had done some pilot projects with various DOTs prior to COVID, but once COVID hit, as an industry and as the customers we work for, we all tried to figure our way through it the best we could. E-ticketing in particular very much got accelerated, and we're seeing a significant increase in the use in many of the states we do business in. And I think it's a positive thing. And I don't want to say COVID's a positive thing, but I think that the acceleration of that, the use of that technology is a positive thing because we're using it more and more. It's bringing more and more value. Without COVID, I don't think we would be in the position we are today. But at the same time, it really helped advance that technology and the use of it.
With Northeast Paving winning the 2021 Sheldon G Award, I learned that your company works with multiple suppliers on projects. So I was kind of wondering if you could share how important logistics and real-time data can help companies ensure that projects with a lot of moving parts stay efficient and running smoothly.
It's a unique situation that we were able to win the Sheldon G and actually have multiple suppliers on that project. And logistics came down to a big part of our decision-making as to why we used a third-party supplier for a portion of the job, just because of their proximity to the job versus the distance we would have to travel and some of the challenges we faced with logistics and trucking in the industry. But using a third party, one of the challenges, we didn't have ultimate control, and we don't have that real-time data from their particular plants as they're producing. But with utilizing technology like Fleet Watcher, it still gave us that real-time data and ability to see exactly where all of our trucks were at any point in time and where they were in the cycle. So it really helped manage that process Whereas in the past, without that technology, it would have been a much greater challenge to use a third party and still produce the quality product that we did on that particular job.
Brad, we appreciate your time and you coming by and talking to us for a little bit today. And we wish you the best of luck in your paving season today, and especially as I'll get things going. And we'd love to hear in the future how Eurovia is taking some of these ideas that are really win-wins. They reduce costs, they reduce emissions, and so they're great for everybody. But how y'all are moving forward and continuing to make progress in this area.
Thank you. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thank you, Brad.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Pave It Black. Visit asphaltpavement.org/podcast to find more episodes, suggest a topic or guest, become a sponsor, or learn more about Napa. Pave It Black is produced and copyrighted by the National Asphalt Pavement Association. Music by Colleague. As always, thanks to the dedicated workforce connecting diverse communities all across America. Keep on paving it black. Did you know the average piece of equipment idles in excess of 3 hours per day? Do you have equipment outside of your paving operation that needs to be monitored? If you're like most contractors, you're probably looking for ways to cut down on idle time, fuel costs, and equipment costs. Fortunately, Fleet Watcher software makes it easy for you to monitor your fleet in real time. With daily reports, you know exactly what equipment is being effectively utilized right now. Not sure what piece of equipment is due for a PM? Need to know where your equipment is located? Just take a look at Fleet Watcher app on your desktop or mobile device. To learn more about Fleet Watcher's construction management system, visit fleetwatcher.com.